there, welcome to another Team Clueless Battle Report. Myself and Mark have come down to 40k on a Friday evening to pick up the new Blood Angel Codex. I will reserve my thoughts for it until after the game.
Yeah, you haven't though.
But I'll use my voice to describe how I feel about it. So we thought we'd just do a very quick video. I apologise for the noise, there's music and loads of people and stuff. But we're playing 1750 points.
Yep. And
we are playing Cloak Shadows, the Maelstrom mission there. Which is one where you have secret objectives hidden from your opponent so he doesn't know what you're going for. So let's go through armies. Mark, do you want to see what you got?
Yep, sure. Starting at HQ then, I have 2 Flyer Ants. This one here has rolled Catalyst and he's also got Psychic Scream. The other Flyer Ant has got Psychic Scream and Onslaught. They both have double Twin Link Devours, they both have the Haywire Blast, and they both give a troop outflanking. So, onto my troops. I have 30 Termagants, in there is 18 Devourers, which enables me to take a Termagant as a troop choice. He has got Onslaughts. I have 2 3-man bases of Deep Striping Rippers, and I have the brand new, the Children of Cryptus, which are 8 Gene Stealers and they're Broodlords. These guys are subbing in for 2 Venom Thropes. I have 3 squads of Biofalls.
What are they, Mark? They don't look like Biofalls, they look more like Termagants.
Real models, baby. These are 3 Zone Thropes, one of them's upgraded to the Neuro Thrope, and they have rolled the Horror Psychic Power. I have a single Lictor on its own, and I've taken a Space Marine drop pod, which is obviously just a normal 200 drop pod now.
I think it looks more like the model if we put it like that.
Well, it has to be like that.
Well, yeah, so you levitate it.
Alright then, for the rest of the game, I will levitate it with my mind.
So, for the 1750 points of Blood Angels, I tried to make a force up that is quite Blood Angel-y. Quite hard with the new codex. I made it up before I actually had the codex in hand from rumours from the internet and basically using the Space Marine codex, because all of the stuff is the same. So it might be a couple of points off with war gear and such, who knows. So I have Commander Dante as a Lord of War choice. He's pretty boss, he gives the entire army the old Descent of Angels rules, it's basically his warlord trait. I have in HQ a Sanguinary Priest with a jump pack. The new Sanguinary Priest rules basically give +1 weapon skill and feel no pain just to the unit they're with. So they're pretty powerful, but the power is confined to a single unit. He's got an Auspex and he's got a Melter Bomb. Also a change from the previous codex, they have 2 wounds now, which is a surefire bonus. So they're going to be rocking around with a squad of Sanguinary Guard. These things have been reduced in price quite a lot. In there we've got a Power Fist, 2 Axes, 2 Swords, no other upgrades. Troop choice, the troop choices are necessarily bare. So I have 5 Scouts with Sniper Rifles. And then weirdly in the supplements, what's that thing called, Mark? It's called
Deathstorm.
Deathstorm. In the Deathstorm box, there are little, what they call data sheets, and in there you can take a Death Company Dreadnought as a troop choice. In the Codex you can't do this, but you can using the Deathstorm box. So I have taken Brother Cassor, I think his name is, from the Deathstorm box. It's 140 points, and I bought him a drop pod in the fast attack slot, so that's quite handy. I have 2 other Dreadnoughts. One of them is, he's badly armed because I brought the wrong arms for him, but he is a Furioso Dreadnought. He has a frag cannon and a heavy flamer on the other arm. And then I have a double twin-linked auto-cannon Dreadnought who has bought a drop pod that he probably won't use just to make it nice odd numbers. I have a Bale Predator just because it's Blood Angel-y. They no longer have Scouts and they're in heavy support now. I have Death Company, all with jump packs. And one of them has a Power Fist. I have 2 squads of Assault Marines. These guys are no longer troops, so they're in fast attack choice. One of them is packed with 2 Melter Guns and a Melter Pistol. The other has 2 Flamers and the Sergeant has a Melter Bomb. I'm using the new formation from the Blood Angel detachment, which allows me to take 4 elite choices, which are 1, 2, and then 2 of the Dreadnoughts. And it also, instead of having objective secured, it gives every unit in my army +1 initiative when they charge. So basically they've now got the old Furious charge, which seems quite a nice bonus, makes them a lot better in combat versus other Marines per se. Okay, so let's see how we get on. So we're playing on the half of the APOC board that goes along that line you can see down there. So Mark has chosen this side of the board to set up on. I've set up first, and I'll go through that in a sec. Mark has got 2 Flyer Ants on the ground down here. What are they? They're the Venom Thropes and the Biovores there. Turvagon there, and in reserve you've got these guys are outflanking. He's in deep strike. They're in outflanking.
Deep strike, in the pod.
In the pod, so the zones are in the pod. Over on my side of the battle, where the objectives are. So we have number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 is over here, number 5 is over there, and number 6 is down there. For my deployment, I've got Death Company over here. My scouts have infiltrated up to this line here. Bale Predator in the centre there. Dreadnought on the back here. And half an assault squad there without the flamers near that one. In reserve, I've got Dante, Melter squad, Flamer squad, 2 dreadnoughts in a pod, and a blank pod. Okay, let's roll for season initiative. On a Daka, did you say, Mark?
Yep. No.
Oh, close to a Daka, it's a 5.
I would have seized with your Blood Angels, Captain.
You would have done. Okay, wish me luck. Don't wish Mark luck. Okay, so Blood Angels turn 1. One of my objectives, which are hidden from Mark, so I'll only tell you the one I scored, one of them was have 3 units within my own deployment, 12 inches, and none of Mark's. So I had to string out both of my jump out units, so his last model there has been 12, and over there the same is true, and the Dreadnought as well, so I scored 1 BP for that. Mark then reminded me that I hadn't done my drop pods, which is very nice of him, so I'd have completely forgotten as they were way over there on the other table. So I then dropped them in over here. The one with the frag cannon and heavy flamer, unsurprisingly, killed the 2 venom throats. The rest of my shooting was pretty darn ineffectual, because there's not really a whole lot of shooting in this army. He fired his melter gun, missed the Hive Tyrant, heavy bolt guns fired, put wound on the... Oh, I'm rubbish with names today. On the Biovores in there. The Dreadnought back there could only shoot at the Biovores, only got 1 wound through, and the heavy bolters on the side of the Bale Predator fired at a Hive Tyrant, but unsurprisingly did diddly squat. But I did get first blood for the Venom Throats, so overall a not awful turn. Over to Mark.
Right, end of Tyranid turn 1. Not the most eventful. Turvagon basically spawned 8 Gaunts but rolled doubles. The Biovores tried to fire down into the scouts down there, but I scouted too far. Not far enough to mean I'd got my spawn knife, but far enough that I didn't actually do any damage. This flyer jumped over the Dreadnought, shot him up the bum. I managed to take him out of hold points. This flyer didn't do quite so well, and all he's managed to do, even though his templates come in both things, was take off 1 hold point off the Dreadnought, and unfortunately did nothing else. However, both flyrants currently have feel no pain, but are still on the ground. So, and I managed to score secure objective. Sorry, got really bad like that. Secure objective 3, which is this Turvagon, and I discarded secure objective 5, sorry, because it's guarded by a rifleman right down there.
End of Blood Angel turn 2. So, all the rest of my reserves came in. I didn't need to use Dante's awesome Give the Army Descent of Angels, like they used to have. Special rule. So, I dropped in, my empty drop pod dropped in over there, tried to land on that objective, failed, which is a bit annoying. Over here, though, I deep struck in using the Descent of Angels, so only scattered D6 with both of those squads. They were both in melter range of this Hive Tyrant here, so I poured both their melter fire in. I took the first 3 wounds off the Hive Tyrant nice and easily, but then I had to fire the Bale Predator, both the Storm Bolters from there, and finally the Scouts actually did something. They put the final wound on the Hive Tyrant, taking him out. This Dread here fired his melter into the Hive Tyrant, who was lonely there, taking a wound off him. Then there was a bit of confusion on both our parts. I'd forgotten that he had a Haywire Flamer template, which would quite happily deal with my Dreadnought if I charged in. So I was going to charge anyway because I'd forgotten, but Mark had forgotten that these guys had jump packs, so he didn't realise they could get anywhere near charge range to this guy. So they'd hopped over and got to within 7 inches of him. It was going through terrain because of this little diggy out bit here, so I needed a 9-inch charge. I declared them first, so Mark said he wasn't going to overwatch them. I then got an 11 inches on the charge, got in there, so I got to charge with both units. Due to the Blood Angel formation, they're both initiative 5, the same as Mark's Hive Tyrant. The Dreadnought went munchy 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 and used his reroll from his new Shred Claws, broken. and managed to do 3 wounds to him, and then the Death Company threw 25 attacks at him and just smashed him down. He attempted to deal with the Dreadnought with a smash attack, rolled a 1, failed to hit. Back here, these guys drop podded in as well. This is the Flamer squad. There were 8 termagants there. I hit them with both Flamers and rolled pretty poorly and only took out 7 of them. When you wipe out a unit nearly, that's rolling poorly with double Flamers. Other than that, other stuff just moved up the table, as you can see. But all of Mark's reserves over there are coming in likely this turn, so they're going to mulch me, I suspect.
Right, end of Tyranid turn 2. So, the important bit was my reserves. Unfortunately, the big squad that I really could have done with to put some anti-infantry Dakar on didn't come on this turn, which is really bad, and also my 2 squadrons of Rippers. So, that still left me a reasonable chunk of force. So I've got moved across here, and I'm going to come back to these. The Biovores fired into scouts, managed to kill 3, and they're on the leadership, which we'll do live on camera.
No, did that already.
Oh yeah, you did. The Gene Stealers unfortunately outflanked onto here, and I've got my Lictors come down there. I've tried to do the Horror Psychic Power and the Flesh Tentacles, and they have unfortunately did nothing. However, the only thing that kind of redeemed my turn were my Zone Throats and Neurothroat were really, really good. Yeah. First off, I did my Life Leech on this Marine squad and killed all 5 of them, which is really, really powerful. That gave me enough Warp Charge to fire the large blast down into these Marines, and I killed 4 and forced them to go to ground to keep the old one alive. So killing 9 Marines from 1 squad is a pretty powerful, and they also secured me Objective 1. Other than that, though, unfortunately, this squad is untouched. This squad is untouched. The Death Company Dreads is still going to rampage through me. So, well, maybe enough to keep me in it this game. So, let's see.
Blood Angel turn 3. So this turn I basically exploded out from this corner and assaulted a load of stuff. The Dreadnought ran into the centre of these woods, and using those new Shred Claws again, I mock them continually, and they've been really useful this game. Yeah. So I rolled 2 1s to wound the Biovores and wasn't going to kill them all, so I re-rolled both 1s and then killed all 3 Biovores. And he's a bit further into the woods than that because he has scored me this objective this turn. But that model you can barely balance on a flat surface, let alone top of a trees. Over here, the Death Company charged in here. I'd strung them out a bit to hopefully not go through all of the Zone Throats because I wanted to be protected from shooting this turn. But I'd get a really good charge, so they all got in. But then I just didn't do enough wounds, and Mark was pretty good on his save, so 1 Zone Throat is left alive. Over here, Dante's squad charged and mulched its way through the Turvagon quite happily. The explosion killed the lone remaining Gaunt that was down there. The Bale Predator and the Dreadnought at the far end of the table all shot into the Gene Stealers. They went to ground, and because they're the special spawn of Cryptus formation, they have got stealth as well, so that's quite handy, meaning that they get they're in a ruin, so they get a 4-up save, +1 for stealth. They went to ground, so they go to a 2-up. I killed, I think, maybe 1 or 2 Gene Stealers. 2 Gene Stealers, I think, was actually reasonably good going there. And that's what happened to my turn. I scored just the 1 VP, but going well on the killing stuff front. Okay, it's the end of the game, and as you can see, we forgot to do the video because we've already started packing up. Basically, we got to Mark's turn 3, was it? Yeah. He charged in with his Gene Stealers over there. He successfully got off his Psychic Power to pin me, and he cast his Psychic Power to get himself up off the ground. So charged in there, he completely fluffed all of his rolls, 1s everywhere, and killed 1 Space Marine. I killed 3 Gene Stealers back. Over there, he had brought on all of...
him.
Oh yeah, I killed him because he took his saves on there and then failed Look Out Sirs and just died. And then you brought on all your Termagants over there, and they fired into Dante's squad, but only managed to kill 1 Space Marine, which again was pretty unlikely. And at that point, Mark conceded because basically he had those 2 units left, and I had all this stuff over here, which is basically going to take control of all these objectives over here. So, any quick thoughts, Mark, on your Tyranids to start with?
I really enjoy them. I think I like the new change and stuff like that. I need to obviously, I'm massively out of practice. I haven't really used Flyers and that.
Both of us were hugely out of practice, weren't we? Yeah. With the amount of mistakes we made on like the first 2 turns, I nearly forgot my drop pods.
You did forget your drop pods.
Yeah, I did forget my drop pods. There's no nearly.
Yeah.
And I think you should definitely have flown one of your Hive Tyrants.
I don't know why I had the second one on the ground. The first one made sense because it could get behind and No,
yeah, it killed a dreadnought, didn't it? So
yeah. And I completely forgot the Death Company had jump packs and stuff like that. So
in your defence, they didn't have them on the model, so
yeah, but you know, you had to almost start the game and stuff like that. So it's still an interesting game. It's still quite a good learning experience. I mean, I think I rolled well with my Eurofolk here. That was really
but
good.
that psychic ability really powerful. The fact that it gives you the dice to then cast the other one, it's like having a free psychic power. I really like it.
Yeah, you have to. It relies on quite a lot of rolls to get stuff like that. So,
that's always the issue with them, isn't it? But the fact that it lets you split threat, so you can drop down, and that unit's really good versus infantry because it's psychic powers. They can fire at 2 targets, and then they can warp lance another target. I just think it makes the unit a much more viable.
It'd be interesting to see how much damage like 5 could do, because that really makes casting the warp lance so much more powerful.
Yeah, very much so.
When you're doing that kind of output there. And I think the G-Stealers, you and I were talking about them, with the smaller cryptors, they're actually really, really quite powerful.
Yeah, because Mark came on and he was in the terrain, so I decided to shoot at him with various things, Bale Predator and a Dreadnought. And because he went to ground, he had a 2-up save, and then can cast the psychic power to give him them all fearless, and they just pop up and get moving again. Yeah. Really good.
And with preferred enemy, it does increase the damage output and stuff like that. And you know,
definitely.
They do hurt. They'll definitely go for it well.
Yeah, you rolled so many 1s. It was.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was 2s.
Yeah, 2s. 1s were doing fine.
Yeah, I can cover all 1s, but you know, I didn't roll very many Wrens either as well.
That's it. As far as Blood Angel armies go, I mean, I quite liked the army I'd made today. It had the elements I consider Blood Angel-y, i.e. dreadnoughts and a load of assault troops. I think they probably performed better than they should due to your rolling, and I made a couple of pretty good charges that, like, I shouldn't roll an 11 for a charge, you shouldn't really be able to do that, which were quite key. Taking out the 2 Hive Tyrants turn 2 was really key to the battle, I think.
Yeah, I think if one Tyrant had been alive, because obviously the Catalyst powers were really powerful. You were all 3 squads together, so I could have just Nova and got like 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I was really fearful. That's why I really wanted to take them out.
Yeah, I mean, your Dreadnought, I'm pretty confident I would have killed them if you charged me.
Yeah, I completely forgot the Haver, so as usual. But other than that, I mean, I think there's loads of problems with the Blood Angel Codex, which no doubt people watching will have known about because they'd have read the internet, so I won't go into them. I managed to make an army which was pretty Blood Angel-y, and it performed reasonably well, so I can't complain too much, and hopefully they'll introduce some more interesting unit choices in the book that's out next week, which I can't remember the name of, the next part of the campaign. But thanks for the game, Mark.
Cheers.
Bye.